Welcome back, everyone.
Been
Now,
too
as we
long.
did take some time off, let's get a little refresher here. Now that you all are back in the Citadel, we had a couple of things happen last session. To go along some of the side plots first, you have met the various rats that live in the areas underground, as well as the hayloft housing. One of you has already made communications with the landlord of Hayloft Housing, landlord, lord of land, as well as brief touch with the and I am suddenly the brass. It escapes me at the moment.
Brass ass.
Where the hell is the record?
You know what I'm
keeping?
talking about. I forgot the full name of the brass people, the brass rats.
Brass folk.
Brass folk. Okay.
That's it?
And
Damn.
yes,
Yeah.
that's all it was. It was just brass folk. I just couldn't remember the suffix I had on it. I kept wanting to say brass rats, and I knew that wasn't right.
Brass rat.
We did have Matteo go over to the Brazen Broad and the Flawless Kettle Tea House to discuss with the lovely Devil of Envy and her underlings, who have now agreed to consider not attacking you for a time. Very successful diplomatic mission. We did speak with Jeeves, who is taking a more aggressive approach up north with Sir's men. And we did meet Joffrey over in the garden and have our lovely little meeting at the end of the session. Also, two of us did go gambling at a casino and lose a ton of money. Just fun
I didn't
little
lose
side
a
note.
ton.
Didn't you lose all of it by the end?
All the stuff that he gave me.
All right, Midas lost a ton of money. Milo had a great time. All right. And at the end of it, we did separate off with you guys going to shut down for the evening and Jeeves going to go on his operation. And that is where we are going to pick up. Because you see, the next morning, you would wake up to a field hospital in the downstairs floor of the Silvertongue Inn. As all of you begin getting up for the day, you would see that quite a few people are laid out on tables getting medical attention from slashing, stabbing, burning, freezing wounds, as well as some limbs being removed. Quite a gruesome sight. You would see Jeeves is quickly moving around and attending to people, as well as occasionally stepping into the back to go speak with Joffrey. How do you all respond to waking up to this nightmare?
They don't have a dedicated hospital in this town.
The fuck do you think we
are?
are?
You asking them that, or are you asking me that?
Just putting it out there. I mean, I feel like Matteo, even again. Come on. You don't have a permanent setup?
We do.
You fight every night. It's not in the who and the what now?
The Citadel has a hospital. It's just not in our territory. So, no.
Well, I'd assume you would make one in your territory at that point.
You'd fucking think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
Look, I'm not
After
the
a
one to
little
yell
bit.
about that.
After a minute, Jeeves would come out, see you all, and say, Matteo, back, now.
Yep. On it.
You go in the back and you find Joffrey looking at a few different maps, as well as what appears to be a hand-scrawled recreation of the most recent battle and like what the positions were.
Who was it?
Jeeves would speak up and say, it was retaliatory. The attack on Sir last night didn't go perfect.
Cool.
Sit down. Let me walk you through it. And he starts getting out a couple maps, and Joffrey is sitting completely silently looking over all of this. Jeeves starts showing you maps of the market district, which you do know is a decent bit away. It's one of the largest districts of the city, and on the opposite side of it. Meaning they had to go... well, actually, you can see it up here. They had to go all the way through all of this to get to the Grand Market District up here.
Why the fuck?
He starts showing you how they got in. There was a bunch of really successful raiding. It wasn't so much for stealing. It was more for damaging than anything. Kind of you fail to protect your territory type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he shows you, like, they burned down several buildings, and, like, all of this damage was done. But then, obviously, Sir's people responded. Summoners got involved. They were quickly outnumbered by things that didn't care if they died, and it went downhill from there. There is a full roster, and it looks like you had lost about half a dozen of your enforcers, several of whom you would recognize by name, people you'd worked with in the past.
I don't like how many names I'm recognizing on here.
Well, you know, anyone who worked with you back in the day, if they're still around now, they've gone up in rank. They got taken alive, not dead. That's the good news. And we got a couple of our own. We have some prisoners. They're at a safe... But, you know how messy that gets.
All right. Is there a plan in place already, or is this a strategy
The workings
meeting?
of one. We're trying to figure out where they're being held. Well, you know me. I'm really good at getting in and out of places. Hopefully I can get them out of wherever they are, but we have to find them first.
Hmm.
And, well, Sir has a lot more territory than we do. We can't exactly go looking. We know they were taken east of the Grand Market District, but that doesn't tell us much.
All right. What do we know?
We know that they were ordered to take people alive, which means Sir has something in mind.
Of course he
We
does.
know that they didn't target the rank and file. They targeted people who had some rank on them, which means he wants it to either be a show of force or leverage for something. Rank and file, well, they're the ones you saw out in the bar.
Yeah.
Casualties were low. Besides the captures, well, they may not all make it, but none of them died on field. There's that. We got a couple of their summoners, which means people of a rank. So we may have some leverage, but not for long. And Sir doesn't care about his people the way we do.
Then why bother capturing at all?
It's a numbers game. He knows that they're worth something, it's just he doesn't care about their humanity. They're still worth something. It's just, we know that anything he'd be willing to trade them for, he's going to get the win out of. And he knows that too. He has no reason to negotiate down from whatever he's willing. I was walking it over with the boss, but, well, and he looks over, and you can see Joffrey is, locked in, looking at every single detail in the papers.
So I guess that takes negotiating out of the question.
It certainly makes it difficult. I was actually hoping you could spend some time in his territory, see what you hear.
I'm not exactly the inconspicuous type.
You're
I know
not.
something's up.
He will. I'm sure he already does. We attacked him last night, but he also wouldn't attack you during the day, probably. you'd have to be really bold too.
I had hoped to be able to get a meeting after how surprisingly well things went with Glacia. I was hoping I might be able to continue that streak. This puts a bit of a wrench in that.
I was under the impression you were invited to one of his Coliseum matches. Do you think that'll still stand?
I don't know.
Might be a good
Definitely.
place to start.
Sure, but it definitely becomes a lot more dangerous now.
We could send you with an escort.
I got my own escort.
This doesn't change our approach to Sir. He still has more territory than us. We still have to prove our point. Though, hopefully next time... Did I cut out? Oh.
Yes.
He said this doesn't change our approach to Sir. We still have to prove our point. He has more territory than us, but hopefully next time it will go better.
Hopefully being the operative word.
It's always the case in war, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I don't do war.
Wow. You do spying plenty well. Focus on that. I'll handle the rest.
Try not to die out there. Again.
It took how long for me to die, and that was protecting you?
Just saying. You were in a rough shape. After what old Lightning Hands did to you.
Yeah. That wasn't the worst. I need to go check on the men. I'm sure the boss will want to talk to you. And he kind of straightens up, grabs his papers, and starts walking out. Once he shuts the door, Joffrey would finally look up from the papers. Say, so, what are you thinking?
This makes my plan a little more difficult, but I'm going to still try to go through with it.
Understood.
Things will be a lot easier if we can just sit down and talk about things. At least as far as the, undead incursions go.
True. But time that I'm working on the incursions and not fighting Sir is time Sir is consolidating his power. Unfortunately, to a certain extent, we are on a time crunch.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Look at this map, would you? And he pulls out a map of Sir's territory.
I will look at the map.
It has all of the same things on this map. It's just a little bit more detail.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of starts pointing around it and saying, so these are all the locations we've marked down. In your mind, what would you do if you were trying to expand our territory? Where would you go first?
Me personally, I'd focus on the places that are closest to ours. Having an exclave would be a little difficult to maintain. Getting stuff there would be a problem. Now, depending on how extensive the warrens and the tunnels the rat folk have, getting them on our side may make that not a problem.
Sure. Okay.
Assuming we do have that advantage and transport isn't more of an issue than it would be now.
With Jeeves' specialization in transport, we could move quickly.
I'd still say the armors are probably a good bet to strike. Hit them where their gear comes from. That sounds like a good plan.
I'd normally agree with you, But we can beat their people, it's their summons that are problematic. No need to equip them. Taking the Bleeding Guards would assist us in getting some leverage over the Royal Guard, but... well...
If it's the summons that are a problem... I'd hate to say it, but the university puts us in the middle of both enemies, but taking away their biggest source of smart folk be a hell of a hit.
I don't have many relationships with the university. It's one of the more guarded locations.
For good reason.
You feel like making new friends?
Suppose I should be associating with some more alerted types lately. That sentence didn't make any sense. That is not the sentence. Never mind. Fuck it.
I understand what you mean. I'll do what I can to smooth things over after the initial. I'm sure he's aware of our standing at the moment. I'm sure he's been planning a retaliatory strike for a while anyway.
Yeah.
I doubt our maneuvering changes your position too much. He wouldn't have trusted you before. He's not going to trust you now, but...
It worries me how far he's willing to go.
well, he's a devil.
True. But even Glacia seemed to have some care for the people she controlled.
No, Glacia would turn her people into a fur coat if she thought it meant making an extra territory.
Perhaps. But...
I know you don't support the warlike route, but I appreciate you going along.
I just don't want more people to end up dead. And as much as I have my reservations about devils, the fact is most of them were mortal once. There's got to be some humanity left.
Might be a long shot, but you're welcome to try to communicate with Sir. Just remember, he always is playing the slow game. Just because he agrees with you now doesn't mean he's on the same side.
I know.
I'm sure you have work to do, and I have a meeting with the rats here shortly, so I'll let
Good
you
luck
get
with
on your
that.
way.
Alright. Talk to you later, boss.
Anytime, Matteo. He would go back to flipping through the pages.
Mateo would silently exit the room.
Jeeves would be waiting outside the door.
Listening in as always.
Waiting on you to be finished. Boss likes privacy.
Well. It's going to hell in a handbasket, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. When you locate the men, or if you hear anything, let me know. I'll make a plan once I get something found out. He would give you a nod before walking in and shutting the door. The rest of you, you've witnessed multiple rounds of CPR and at least 2 deaths.
Jesus Christ!
Welcome to the back of an ambulance.
Welcome to the war zone, motherfuckers.
Oh god. The back of an ambulance, my god.
It is not pretty. There's a lot of magical healing, and it's not enough to go around.
That's that's a depressing sentence.
Sounds like they need a healer by trade.
It also appears that most of their healers are not top tier. They can cure wounds, but they can't repair limb. And that seems to be the problem.
He cared about the
Summons
humanities.
specialize in dismemberment? What the fuck?
Is that an actual question?
Kind of.
Yes.
Oh.
Sloths do have big claws.
Well, they also specialize in like golems and things like that, and those can be very, very specialized.
All of their golems have scissor hands.
It's just a
Obsidian
flying
Scythes is a classic.
What'd you say?
Obsidian Scythes is a classic.
Scythes. Okay. I heard something size, and I was like, what?
Nope. Obsidian Scythes.
Nah.
They use it for farming and people.
Oh.
How does Sir make money?
Sir owns more than 50% of the city. He's been around here the longest. Also, he has the most wizards and things like that and sorcerers, so he gives out a lot of magical services for things.
What's his main export?
His main export... He has the biggest trade district. He has most of the weapons manufacturing. He's the only one with luxury goods.
Which
he also
feels
has
off.
He also has the biggest winery and the biggest university.
Jesus.
I shouldn't say he's the only one with luxury
goods.
goods. He's the one with the biggest sale of luxury goods, I guess I should say. There are like smaller shops and things, but he's the one with like the big super center. He's the
Also,
one you go to for IKEA.
Oh, okay. He got it.
Dear God, he's a corporation.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yes, his people have the most corporate feel to them. They have the most of them. And also, a lot of the menial labor that would be done, like, for example, by the Silvertongue's front line, he uses with automated systems. There's no reason to have someone man the store when you could have a golem kill anyone who steals.
That's horrifying.
Kinda cool.
Guys, hear me out. We just start a boycott.
Yes, this high-ranking devil of sloth, Jeff Bezos.
I mean,
Sir very rarely works on his own. Most of his stuff is done through lieutenants.
Dear God, it is Jeff Bezos. He's a CEO.
Very rarely does anyone actually get orders from Sir. Unlike Joffrey, who's on the front line, and Glacia, who wants to be seen, Sir just wants things taken care of and doesn't want to have to do it himself.
Which, to be fair, is the start of many a corporation.
True. I will accept that. I assume you're not all wanting to stand around the bloodbath. So where are you going?
No, Matteo
probably would have went and waited outside.
Matteo sees this as like, I don't want to look at my friends bleeding on the ground.
Reasonable. I will say most of the people who are injured you don't know. This seems to be mostly new blood, so to speak. That's a bad joke.
Oh.
I didn't think about that one until I said it. It's mostly people who are new or low rank. Those seem to be the ones that got in.
Oh, okay.
The people who
because they captured all the ones that mattered.
You do see quite a few of them made it out okay. Like, there's a bunch of them who are, like, bandaged up or have a sling. I'm talking about this as if everyone is super severely injured. That's not true. There's just enough where there's someone on every table. A lot of people are, like, in the corner, like, nursing a broken arm type thing.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Still sucks. Still terrible. But, So he is going to Mateo's going to try to, like, usher everybody out of the building. Hopefully, and assumedly with little resistance.
Yeah.
No one tries to get in your way.
I meant from the party, but yeah.
No, actually, we want to stay and watch it.
Yeah, this blood stuff's awesome.
I love
He's going-
watching my friends die.
He's gonna get everyone outside. He's gonna look at everyone and say, "All right." So I got a question for you all.
Oh no.
What is it, Matteo?
Feel like going back to school?
I'd get hate crimed.
What?
Cut that. Cut that. Cut that.
Cut that out.
It's because he's a
Editor.
rat. But
Editor.
you know what? Let's cut that.
Cut. Try that again.
All right, guys. Guess in the comments what minority was Karter referring to.
Switch.
All of them.
I know you said switch, but my brain read it as the fucking that improv game change.
He was
Kinda
talking
what I
about
was
those
doing for, yeah.
Skaven.
Oh god.
What'd you say?
I said he was talking about them Skaven.
Whoa.
I feel like a rat probably wouldn't be very accepted at a college, though. Let's be honest.
Actually, I think in most Pathfinder, rats are considered intelligent. They actually they do make decent wizards.
What about in your Pathfinder with Hayloft housing?
No, I stand by that. The best rats are very capable wizards. It's just there's a lot of low-level rats.
And
It's
people underestimate the rats because of it.
It's a situation with them.
Low-level rats.
I'm just saying,
There's a lot of XP farming to be had.
the bell
Jesus
curve,
Christ!
the bell curve for rats is very low, but the higher end of the bell curve are some of the more effective wizards. If that makes sense.
But I'd assume people at large still underestimate, right?
Oh, sure, but only because of, like, it's more like that whole, like, I'm sure some of them are good, but I've never met type thing.
Yeah.
So much of it can just be solved by bringing in your mech. I mean, come on, man.
I was about to say, I don't care how racist someone is. If the subject of their ire has a mech, they're not gonna say dick nor diddly.
Right, they're gonna look at you and immediately say, "Oh, that's a smart rat."
We gotta
But,
introduce him
like-
to the engineering nerds.
Or if the
If
guy
you
they're
were
trying to make fun
sitting in the
is
middle of
buff-
hayloft housing, they'd probably assume you were an idiot.
Yeah, if the guy they're trying to make fun of is buff, they're not really going to be mean to him, are they?
Well,
How ripped is Mawym?
How ripped is the mech is what you should be asking.
But it's not.
I ain't counting the Pistons.
Actually, it is quite ripped. It got ripped up by Rust Lords.
Ha!
Ah. Never too soon. Get shit on,
Alongside
loser.
my pot, rest in peace.
No one is ever free of getting dunked on.
Just cry.
To be clear, did you buy a new pot? I can't remember.
Pot?
I think I did.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I did at that party town.
the mech has.
Oh, I think you're right.
The mech has a secret storage compartment exclusively for weed.
We are in the Citadel. Weed is that shit's on the street.
That's the best you're gonna get.
The cops
There
are
are
smoking it on duty. It's fine.
There
Yeah.
are distilleries. I'm sorry, not distilleries. Dispensaries. I mean, there's that too.
Distilleries.
There's that too, but I meant dispensaries.
Premium distilled marijuana.
This place is fucking Denver, Colorado.
At least we're
Someone
not
like it.
Detroit.
Our co-GM is hilarious, asking me what kind of weed am I distilling.
That good
Only the
fat
kosher.
folk ganja.
Only gangrene.
Give me a hit of the hookah. Anyway,
That chit-chat kush.
Thanks for making me double check if the drugs and intoxication was still checked.
it's that notchier shit, man.
All right. So, I believe one of you suggested you go back to college.
Yes. And then I got immediately off-railed by fucking Mawym being a comedic genius.
Wow, thank you. That's
The
high
comedic Neanderthals.
praise. Yeah.
I will reiterate. How do y'all feel about going back to school?
That's where they teach people magic, right?
Among other things, but yeah. That's the ones we care about.
I'd be interested.
I'd be interested to see what they have on Lucens.
Well, looks like I'm paying a visit to the university here in town for the sake of, let's call it networking. And it is lodged firmly between, well, in the territory of Sur and right next to the territory of Glacia, so it's kind of a hot spot as far as my operating goes. So I would appreciate some company.
Of course.
Of course, you don't have to. I'm not gonna make you, but like,
Nowhere else to go.
this one's actually mildly dangerous, and well, we've got other shit to do after this, so I would like to be there for it.
Go to uni.
All right. Well, it's only a hop, skip, a jump, and about an hour away by cart.
A drump.
Hop, skip, and a jump, and an hour by cart.
Harumph.
Flump.
You do get a cart from your people. You are supplied with one. And it is
Nice.
taken over to the university. Being driven by a young tiefling man who you recognize is dressed very similar to Jeeves.
Fan club?
Acolyte.
Oh. Same difference.
If you say so, boss.
What's your name?
I was told we're supposed to... Are you asking for my real name?
Yeah.
Oh. Avarice.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I find Joffrey's whole name picking thing a little fucked up.
Oh,
So
I
I
got
like-
that from... I got that from Jeeves.
Oh, well, he gets it from Joffrey.
I believe that.
Either way,
believe you're-
I would like to call people by their actual names because well, everyone deserves to be who they are.
I understand, sir. I believe we're going to the university.
Yes, we are.
All right. Do we need an accompaniment? It is enemy territory.
I've got my entourage.
I see. Am I welcome to stay with you then?
Of course.
All right.
When
He
you
would,
get hurt
Get it all
on
set
my
up.
behalf.
May I ask why we're going? Should I be preparing a escape route?
Maybe do that just in case, but as far as I'm concerned, just networking.
Yes, sir. Understood. He gets the horses hooked up.
As far as I know, Sir is not exactly pleased with us at the moment, so things might go a little shoddy, but... well,
All right. He gets it all set up.
nice.
This young Avarice fellow seems like a consummate professional.
Consummate professional?
I'm sorry, was that a question? The answer is yes.
Yes, sorry. I
I said that and you repeated it back to me, and I was like, I don't know if you're asking me for confirmation.
I was asking yes, sorry. It came through fuzzy on my end. I also don't
yes.
quite know what that phrase means.
He takes all of that information, like assesses it back to you, like confirms it all, right? And asks you all those questions like we already did. And then from that point, shuts his mouth and gets to work. Like he's just focused on what he
Okay, he's just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
does. Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
His emotions seem to play no part in his setup.
Fair enough. Well, I suppose we go forth onward and upward or downward, depending on where this ends up.
Well, he takes the cart through. You'd go through a significant amount of Glacia's territory, seeing quite a few of their men who seem to be eyeing you up as if considering their odds.
Hmm.
Um,
I assume none make their move.
No, it's daytime. Attacking in the day would be a significant risk to them politically. It's very rare that someone's ballsy enough. Now, that being said, you're you.
Yeah, no,
So-
I'm prepared.
You'd be a very valuable target. But
If I
most
see any
people
of
wouldn't
them,
be brave enough.
if I see any of them giving Matteo dirty looks, I wanna chest up and look like a tough bodyguard.
You sit up straighter in your chair and get in the way of their tough looks through the windows of the carriage. Most people seem to be kind of like eyeing you until you kind of get past them, and once you do, you can kind of see them almost brush it off and just keep walking. Like you can see, like they're thinking in their head the risk to reward and decide it's not worth it. This seems to be the standard.
Fair.
Once you get significantly through their territory, you do come along the edge of Sir's territory. You do see several of his guards are on alert, but none of them make a move to stop you. They kind of keep an eye on you, and you can imagine you're probably being followed. But none of them get in your way.
Okay. Mildly unnerving, but
When you arrive at the university, you would be reminded of what a massive university this is. You could walk for almost an hour from one side to the other and not reach the end. It is a massive complex. It takes up almost the entire district.
Oh, that's a huge chunk of the city, actually.
Yes,
seen
no,
it.
it is massive. And that's probably a little scaled down for map purposes. It's massive. You can imagine all of these other little buildings as like offshoots and like private labs and things as a part of the university. Like that entire district is university, pretty much.
Jesus, okay.
Nearly as big as the palace.
It is about as big as the palace. And it's multi-floored, multi-leveled. There are parts of it that are being held up by magic. Like it is a massive, massive complex.
That seems unsafe.
It's wizards.
You would be greeted as you go in. You would see a couple of people with name tags, clearly meant to be like greeters. Very, very basics. Hi, my name is John. Hi, my name is Carrie. Type thing, walking around.
Yeah.
And as you approach, one of them would kind of get a little nervous and look around and walk over and say, "Hi, how can I help you?"
Oh, you seem very displeased to be talking to me right now.
Well, it's not too often we get Silvertongues in this part of the city. Are you here on business?
Not violent business.
Okay, well that's a start. How can I help you?
Well, I am just simply interested in the I have my own pursuits beyond this whole families at war business.
Oh, I see. You're on a personal matter.
Yes. Well, officially no, unofficially yes.
Okay, maybe I can point you in the right direction. What are you here for?
I'm just more or less curious to learn what kind of fields of study this place offers, what kind of people I might be able to talk to about the
Oh, well,
different departments you have here.
well, our college does have quite a few of the divisions. As I'm sure you're aware, we do have specialties in summoning And we do also do a lot of research into transmutation, alteration, significant amounts into evocation, a small amount into planar travel, though, to be honest, we specialize in one way, and that's to hear. We really do a little bit of everything. The departments are headed up by different wizards. Maybe I could point you in the right direction of whichever one you're looking for.
Where would be your head of summoning?
Summoning. That would be the big building, and she points at like the main central complex.
You know, I probably could have guessed that one.
Yes, I believe they switch out occasionally, but I believe they're near the top floors. You might have a hard time getting there without a license or a ID badge or even a enrollment. So maybe I could get one of their assistants to come down and talk to you then.
That would be helpful.
Okay. Could I ask you guys to come hang out over here? And she guides you over to a small cafe on the ground floor. So could I just ask you to stay here for a few minutes?
Sure thing.
Thank you so much. Normally we don't let people who aren't enrolled wander around campus, so it would be really helpful if you would just kind of hang out here. If I hear that you went looking around, I'll have to send guards.
Understood.
Okay. All right. Well, it was very nice to meet you. I gotta go, and she quickly leaves. After a few minutes, old by human standards, middle-aged elf would come into the place and look around and spot you, give you a wave, start walking over and say, "Hi, I am Cuprix. How can I help you?"
Hello. My name is Matteo. I'm sure you've been informed of my
I was warned. I do just want to go on record and say that we don't have an official position in your recent conflict, and I'd rather like to keep it that way.
That's the issue. Official position, no, but like, you train the people that kill my friends.
We train anyone who pays to come here and learn. We're a university, not a barracks.
But are you?
We are. We would accept Silvertongues coming and applying to enroll. We've had several on our ranks. Actually, I believe that young man right there, and she kind of tips her head towards Avarice. So I believe he even took some courses in our warp wing.
No shit.
Avarice would kind of shrug his shoulders and say, "A few. I spent a few months there."
Huh. Well, then you're in a better position than I thought.
Well, yes. You're not wrong. Sir does offer a significant amount of our business, but we're just a university. We're not a... Well, you know.
So what exactly does Sir offer that allows him to claim this place as its territory? Because it seems like you would very much prefer to stay unaligned.
We do prefer to stay unaligned. We've been in his territory since the city was founded. This was one of the original creations. Obviously, we've grown over the years, and he does donate significant amounts to keep us running. Obviously, he is a central customer of ours, and we do supply him with quite a bit of things that he needs for his role. So it's not untrue that we have a relationship, but we've made it quite clear that we don't want to be one of the, how do I say this, battlefields that he fights on. We are entirely prepared to defend ourselves, and that includes from him.
If you ever had to do that, how do you think it would go?
It would be messy, and it would take years for us to recover. But many of the people who work in his ranks would be hesitant to fight us. So, it's not in his best interest either. And, well, like most devils, they are self-serving.
And therein lies the problem. You see, something I've noticed as I've lived here for the past 10 years, and have been away for about a year and a half, however the fuck I've been gone, is that this city seems to be run by a small oligarchy of self-serving nitwits that care only for themselves and not for the people of this fine city that actually make the whole damn thing go round. Now, I'm sure you've heard the age-old adage that Joffrey isn't a devil. But if you ask me, he's pretty damn close. There is a much bigger threat in this city. I'm sure you've heard about it.
You are referring to the undead?
I am referring to the undead, yes.
I am familiar.
My goal here is not to help with Joffrey's war. At least not his war against Sir and Glacia and that whole business. I couldn't care less. I would want nothing to do with it had I the choice. But what I do care about is the fact that there are literal walking corpses pouring out of the fucking sewers, and the only one that seems to be doing anything about it is Joffrey. Innocent people are dying. And way more are gonna die. Unless those self-serving fuckheads that seem to want to run everything come together to at least defend this place that they seem to think is theirs.
What are you here to propose, Mr. Mull?
We need help. We need a lot of help. And currently, with most of this city under Sir's control, help is hard to come by. Now, I'm not looking for you to try and convince this place to swap sides or whatever. I know that's not accurate, but forgive my phrasing. But I at least want to know that there are people that understand that what's going on here is a lot more serious than Sir's gang would like you to believe. And that
You're requesting help with the undead problem, specifically?
Yes. I think a closer relationship... Oh, what is it?
I'd like to make an introduction. One of our researchers has been looking into the problem, but has had a hard time getting boots on the ground, so to speak. Perhaps I can put you in touch.
I would very much appreciate that.
I will have to have us escorted. I hope you understand, but I can bring you up to meet him. Do
I
you
would
find
appreciate
these terms acceptable?
Very much so.
All right. Give me a moment and let me go collect a few to take us there, and then we be on our way. She would step out of the room, and after a few minutes, she would come back with a few people. You would quickly recognize two of them as being summoners. They are wearing Sir's mark, and they are clothed in full black that covers everything but their eyes. It seems like they do not want to be recognized fully. The other one that you see is one very large man who you would recognize after a moment as someone you had dealt with in the past. Logren. Do you remember Logren?
I do. I made the man. I look.
You would.
I look up at Logger and say, "Oh, fancy seeing you around here."
Matteo, I almost missed you.
I'm touched.
You're coming in here running errands again? I thought you got out.
Oh, I could only be so lucky. But what with all the undead walking around, I am partially responsible for making sure not as many people die. So here I am.
Always running the numbers, then. I was told to keep you in line. Am I going to have an issue?
No. I've seen
Alright.
what you can do.
Get walking, then. You would gesture back, and you would see Cuprix kind of wave and then start walking towards the stairs.
Alrighty. I start walking.
You all begin walking. Every few minutes, Avarice seems to fall behind between looking around at everything. So every once in a while, you would hear him kind of mutter something and then be ahead of you. And he keeps doing the teleport thing, getting ahead and then falling behind repeatedly. As if he was trying to keep up. As if he's trying to do what Jeeves always does to you, but badly. The two summoners would flank your group from behind, keeping a good 10 feet between you and them at any given time. Logren, on the other hand, could reach out and grab whichever one of you is walking in the back. They would take you up probably a dozen flight of stairs, a really long way up. Before finally they would turn down a hallway, and you would see what appears to be several very nice morgues. And down at the end of the hall, a lab with a man in full medical garb cutting into a corpse.
That's an interesting technique.
He would look up and say, "Oh, why, thank you, sir. Please come in."
Hope we're not Hope we're not interrupting anything, Doctor.
"Oh, just an autopsy. I don't think the patient will mind." And he pushes it back into one of the slots on the wall.
So
I'll
fair.
gesture at it with my thumb. What parts are you taking?
Oh, none of them. I was actually checking to see the states of decay on the various organs. I was curious if when revived, if any of the body parts were healed or degraded at any rate other than the others. How can I help you?
I was told that you have a special interest in the undead situation going on in the city, and, well, just so happens that so do I. So do the Silvertongues.
Ah, I see. Oh, so you're here about the undead problem. My prayers have been answered, I suppose. My name is Adiprix, and he reaches out to shake your hand, at first with a hand covered in blood and viscera, before after a moment looking at it and then removing his glove and reaching out again.
He shakes his hand and says, "Matteo Malandri."
Oh, you're the famous Malandri. I guess I should have guessed. Well, how can I help you boys then?
Well, exactly what does your interest in the undead entail? I assume you're wanting to stop it, like any reasonable person would.
Stop, mimic, recreate. I'm a necromancer. I specialize in that kind of thing. Though this is a uncommon form of it. To be completely honest, I haven't figured out how it's happening.
Nova, get ready.
I don't have it.
You see, normally when you have undead like this, they stink of the arcane, at least until they're dead, but even once they're dispatched, you can still detect the traces of the arcane going throughout the meat and the bones, where they had been reanimated. I'm sure you as a magic user would be familiar. But, you see, in this case, it's almost as if their life had simply been breathed back into dying flesh. There's no sign of arcane magic in the slightest.
Huh. I don't know
It's
a lot about necromancy, but that does sound not normal.
Also, I thought it might be divine, like a god had taken interference. We brought a few of the clergy in, but the undead were walking through blessed territory without effect. They don't seem to have either of the normal countermeasures, arcane or divine.
That is disturbing and quite concerning, actually.
That being said, they don't seem to be any harder. I mean, this particular one, and he opens one up and you see the head has been caved in.
Oh.
He says this one was simply hit over the head with a pan by one of the civilians and it went down like that. It doesn't seem to make them any harder to kill. If anything, they may be a little easier than your average undead. But they don't seem to have any method of resurrection.
That is strange.
Then there are also the weird ones, and he would go over to the back and he'd open up a you know how most of the time the morgue, like cabinets, they roll the full body in feet first?
Mm-hmm.
He opens one up that's set up the opposite way. It's set up horizontally. And as he opens it up, you see it's actually for much smaller corpses that are lined up. Specifically that of birds and small animals.
What?
Well, typically necromancers specialize in bigger things, right? If I'm going to cast a spell to resurrect something, I would want to resurrect something that could have an effect. And yet we've seen significant numbers of these small birds, even flying in flocks. The amount of arcane energy required to sustain a number of creatures of that scale, especially from such a wide range, it's not something I could do, and I'm a specialist.
It's like they're trying to mimic the world of the living, but with undead.
Yes, as if someone had breathed new life into old flesh.
If I may, you've checked Arcane and Divine.
I have.
Have you checked Primal?
That's what I was thinking.
The natural magics. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone specialized in that. I'm not even sure if there is a druid in the region capable of necromancy. If there is, I'm not familiar of him.
Well,
Could I ask Mercy to see if there's any, like, faint, lucent energy on it?
I would say you can ask. I would say that for him to recognize that might require knowledge you don't have. We would need to go through your normal method.
That's fine if you want to remind me.
Okay, I believe we talked about this last time because we decided we didn't like how it was operating. I believe what we agreed was that it was 1d2 of ability drain, right? Was what we agreed?
It was the one that was slightly lesser.
I believe we talked about that because it was instantly healed otherwise, and this one was a bit more
Yeah.
lasting. Okay, roll 1d2. I think that's what we're going to do for now. We can always figure it out later.
Yeah.
Alright,
Push comes to shove, we can fix it.
take one drain to wisdom, please.
We go... Hold on, I gotta remember how to do that. 1 wisdom drain. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, it's been so
Um,
long.
You get a vision from him. Give me a knowledge. Give me a knowledge local.
Oh, why did it have to be one of my worst
Blind.
ones? You...
Just give me knowledge local blind.
Can I do a local for him, or is that not allowed?
No, it's because of one of his abilities. He needs to. Use
I
it.
gotcha.
I'm basically pulling from knowledge of before I was born.
Yeah, I got it.
I would say you do indeed get a vision, a very clear one, of a very, very tall black tower and a swarm of these birds flying out of it.
I assume it's different than the tower we were at previously.
I don't know which tower you're referring to, but I do believe all except for one of the towers you had only seen from the inside.
I definitely remember climbing up the stairs to get to one.
For the...
You went up the inside of one tower when in the dream sequence.
Not that one. The one where we got the Druid book and the dagger.
Oh, that one, yes. You did see that one outside. It's not that one. That one was like old gray stone. This is black. Yeah. Pitch black.
Okay.
I will say the land around it also looks necrotic. It looks like it's been tainted.
I do remember that being in a dream.
I don't remember how we got there. I'm pretty sure it was a nightmare, wasn't it?
Yes, the tower that you climbed was in the Nightmare from Phobos.
Cool. There was also the tower where we got lost in the woods and there was like a big bridge. Which was
that was the Druid tower. That was the Druid tower.
Yeah, that's what I thought was being referred to as the Druid tower.
No, that one was Greystone. I know that was a long time ago. That was Greystone. In the middle of the woods.
Maywin wouldn't know this, but was it the one where Marivin had to like swim, kind of, and it was like really far into the continent a bit?
That was not the same one. No, that one was like silver and blue.
Oh, okay.
Different tower. There's a lot of towers here.
Too many.
So far, our best guess, or at least my best guess, is that was the one that Phobos took us to. Because that had a lot of undead-esque things inside of it. We exited through the top of the tower, right?
You were banished from the top of the tower by the guy in white and the guy in black.
Yeah.
There is the like perfectly white and gold guy, and then his partner with like the cloud of shadow around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything else that I see from Mercy?
No, I would say that would be the extent of his knowledge of these birds.
Okay.
So you come shocked out of your vision.
Yeah.
Moravaint, you alright? You look kind of glazed over.
Whether it was a good idea or a mistake is yet to be determined. But I may have an idea, at least, where these came from. Remember the nightmare Phobos took us into?
Oh yeah, the Halloween special.
The tower. The other one. The one with the...
No, that was the Halloween
Midas
special.
got used as a weapon.
Yeah, that was the Halloween special, I'm pretty sure.
No, I thought that was
the Halloween special.
Was
it a different one? I thought it was a different one.
It was the Halloween special. No, it was the Halloween
There was the
special.
mansion, there was the tower. They were two different ones.
Yeah, it was the Halloween special.
Am I going crazy?
You're going crazy.
Crazy ones.
I thought the haunted mansion and the tower were two completely separate ones.
Well, there was like a haunted house type place, but
the haunted house is where we had that really eloquent goblin, which was not the Halloween section.
Yeah, that was yeah. But
damn, why do I could have swore that one was the Halloween
Marivin
special.
got his powers.
No, that was not.
I'm going okay. That shows the extent of my knowledge.
We had
I
two
guess.
horror-themed episodes. It's okay.
Okay. Well, and then the other Halloween episode. The correct Halloween episode. Fuck, I don't even remember what I just said. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
The wizard is rapidly looking between you and say, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you say Phobos?"
It's a long story.
Very long story. We have a friend who's got visits from dream gods periodically. It was a whole thing.
My
We
God.
ended up getting dragged along as well.
What interesting lives you must have. Have you considered writing a book?
My handwriting's not too good.
I run a circus. I'll have opportunities.
He'll turn it into a play,
I
if
see.
anything.
We have a dimensional studies team. If you don't mind, I'm sure some of them would have questions sometime soon. If you have a day.
Would you have any idea about an all-black tower somewhere
All black
on the
tower.
island?
Give me a moment. I might. He goes over to one of the shelves and picks up. He opens up a cabinet, and you see shelves of whisper stones lined up. And he kind of looks through them and sorts. Eventually, pulls one out, checks the label on it, and leans in and says, "Ulore, can you do a search for records of a black tower on Orsha, please?" Once again, that was a black tower on Orsha, and then he would put it back.
Nice.
You know, background. I'll get an answer in a few minutes, probably. It'll take her a bit to check her records. Wow. Okay. So you think that these birds came from this black tower?
Before I say any more, I have to ask, are you averse to lucents in any way?
Well, I mean, they're not a specialty of mine, but there is a significant overlap between lucents and necromancy, so I can't say that I'm offended by their existence.
Well, I have one. So, I kind of asked him about the birds.
I'm
And
sorry,
saw
you
in-
have one like bound.
I'm gonna pull
Like,
Mercy out. Just
You,
jump scare the shit out of this dude.
pull out second Moravaint. And he would jump back, looking between the two, and kind of go, wait, hold on. So you and him?
Correct.
Wow. And was this I hate to ask, is this
Consensual?
consented? Yes.
In its own right. That's a long story. But
I don't like that
It's
phrasing,
fine.
and I'm not even involved in this shit.
That is fascinating. And you're still... You? Did the rest of you know him before this? Was he the same... Was he the same person?
As far as I
I've
can
not been
tell. Oh yeah, he's new. But as far as I can tell, yeah. We've all done a lot of changing over the year. So as
I see. Are you from out east, by chance?
Me?
I don't know how to answer that.
You, Moravaint, are you from the Imperial camp to the east?
I'm not from the camp. I'm from the actual Empire,
Oh,
formerly.
Huh. I just know they were doing research with Lucents, but I thought they abhorred them. Interesting.
I assume this is the first I'm hearing about that.
Of a camp or them abhorring Lucents?
Of them doing research on lucents.
Oh, probably not. I mean, the Empire isn't like hidden about the fact they do research on it.
Okay.
But the same way that like a priest does research on undead to know how to kill them.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I didn't think of it that way.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting off track. So the other thing was I'm sorry. The birds, their biology isn't natural. The humans we've been getting around here are, well, for the most part, completely natural. But the birds and the animals were actually different. They had transplants. Can I show you an example?
Please.
he would go over and get a jar out, and inside of it you would see a small green sack about the size of a tennis ball. And he'd pull it out and say, "I found this in the stomach of a bird that had flown over here." Now, it's important to note that when they died, they lost their stomach acid. It burns its way through the gut and gets separated out into the viscera inside the body. It's quite a gross process, but after it was dead, this was inserted into the stomach. And there were quite a few of these, but if I may give you a demonstration, and he gets out a black slate, like, pan, it's like curved up on the edges, and puts a small piece of iron in the center before dropping the sack on it, and it pops and melts through the iron, liquefying it.
Oh my.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
He said there were different modifications on each one. They weren't, how'd you say, mass-produced. But I started noticing that different things had different ones. I found herbivores with sharpened teeth. I found this. I found several creatures with extra parts. It was quite morbid, if I'm honest with you. I know necromancers are not averse to modifying the corpses, but personally I find it rather baroque. Baroque.
What the fuck? I was never told about this shit. This ain't just an undead incursion. This is worse. A lot worse.
And here I was thinking they were just spying. It's more like they're trying to replace.
Well, no, it's certainly not spying, but they're not intelligent. That's what really bothers me, because the corpses that come up aren't intelligent. They function like a naturally occurring zombie, if you're familiar. The kind who's tainted by stray magic rather than a targeted spell. But they are most certainly modified. This isn't accidental, and yet I can find no sign of magic.
Seems rather chaotic.
I would think that, but typically chaos manifests itself as magic. Magic is naturally a chaotic form. I suppose by its nature, chaos can come a different way, but...
What the fuck? This shit just
I've been without a...
got a whole more concerning.
I agree. I've been telling us we need to mobilize more wholly for a while, but researchers are very rarely the right person to put in combat. And quite frankly, most of the soldiers in the city are so preoccupied right now. And we have yet to be hurt by them. I mean, as I said, one of them was taken down by an old woman with a pan. They're not exactly war machines.
Yeah, one isn't, but thousands of them be a problem. That's, from what I've been able to tell, that's what undead specialize in. Overwhelming numbers over quality. And he gestures towards the fucking pan victim.
I agree, but the most common problem with undead is that by dying to one, you would at least be primed to become a new one, or in some cases become one naturally. And yet, without the magic, that wouldn't be possible. And once again, no magic. They're not self-reproducing. At least not through any means I'm familiar. And they haven't killed anyone yet, so I have no way of checking.
This is speculative, but could it be a test of reaction from the Citadel's government?
The government?
Or could it be a test?
Well,
whoever's sending them to see how we would react, to see the weaknesses, a scouting party, if you will.
I suppose that's possible, but without the magic, I don't know how you'd get the data.
You go in the city.
You're implying that whoever's doing it is here?
Oh, we're a non-undead liaison.
I don't know which one is scarier.
The point is, this is a little more of a big deal to me. I was already not pleased with the idea of an undead incursion, but now that I know it's this serious, I've been working to try and get the families, so to speak, to start working together to try and fight against this threat. With knowledge of what they're doing, of what they're able to do. I think that's more important now than ever.
I couldn't agree more. And it's about this time you would hear buzzing from his cabinet. He would walk back over, open it up, pull out the Whisper Stone, and hold it up to his ear. And you would hear a very loud voice come from the other side, seeming to jar him, saying, "Yes, Adriprix, I have located what you're looking for. Well, maybe. We can't see a black tower, but judging from what you had described to me before, there seems to be a large undead group north of Ember Creek, and for some reason, I can't scry there. So if you're looking for a tower, I'd look there."
I want to look around to the rest of the party. I think our job on the inside is about to turn very quickly to the outside.
As long as we don't find Rust Lords again, please, for the love of God.
We can't leave
Did
yet.
anyone ever even get that fixed?
I did.
Only technically.
No, I just bought a lucerne hammer. And a shield.
We can't leave yet. But fuck if we don't have a goal. I wouldn't feel right leaving without making sure that the leadership isn't at least somewhat on the same page. This shit's... This shit's getting more serious by the second. And I'm not sure it's... Fuck.
Matteo, if I may, I've been trying to do that research recently, and I was hoping maybe someone of your employment might be able to assist me with something I've been having an issue with recently.
What's that?
I hate that I have to ask this, and I understand that the answer is most likely no. But in your field, maybe you would have a better chance than I would. I need to find out if the undead reproduce. And the only way I can do that
Is to fuck them.
I mean, he's alone in this laboratory.
Don't apologize, we're here for it.
It's the fucking real close to the mic and then the boom.
everyone take 1d6 psychic damage.
No!
No!
I'm kidding. Just Milo.
Get a negative hero point.
Okay, alright. That was good.
Take a
Back on
negative
track.
inspiration.
I was kidding. I was kidding. You don't need to. I was okay with it.
Oh my god.
I would have taken that. It was an acceptable punishment.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold on. It's like, I gotta get back to my.
Don't laugh.
If I laugh at this, he's not laughing. I'm sorry. He would say if the only way I can test that is by experimenting. And
Okay, you're not making it sound
Make
any
it a
better.
work protection.
And the only way to
Yeah.
limit the variables with that is to perform the exam on a living target.
It's not gonna make better.
So you need us to bring you an undead?
No, that's not what I mean. I can get an undead. I don't have someone willing to risk infection.
Oh,
I mean, I'll do it.
why you? I have the fucking. I can't get bitten.
No, that's my point.
He needs somebody to get bitten.
And not just that, but people survive undead wounds all the time. You don't turn unless you die from it.
Oh.
You need someone that's
Prepared
You
to
need
die.
Ah,
I'm not there yet, but I wish I could help.
And I hate to put you in a position to even consider something like that. But if given someone who is prepared for that, or even someone who will be there anyway, I could do a more thorough test. So,
you could write a book on the ethics violations involved in what you're asking me to do.
I could. I could also write a book on how the death of a city is worth it.
I feel
I'm
like
not
you-
asking you to kill someone. I'm
Oh,
not
trust
asking you
me,
to
I
bring
can
me
find
something.
101 different people in this city that deserve to die, but
I feel like you could.
The
just put out an
alternative
ad.
that I was offered by Sir is unpleasant.
dare I ask?
He proposed using them in the arena.
Dear God.
Fuck.
I think that's kind of elegant.
I want to fucking strangle that little shit.
He turns to you, Milo, and says, "The arena isn't always willing participants."
Oh.
You see why I hate this place?
I didn't like it when we first came. Now I don't like
Yeah.
it again.
It is
Tell me
my
that more.
understanding that he proposed that if someone died to the undead in the arena, at least they could be helpful.
Dear God. Again.
God fucking damn it.
Now, I found that rather coarse, if I may. But if the difference is whether they're fighting undead or an animal, and at least with the undead we would get the data, I don't know that I have a choice in the matter. If given the
Unfortunately.
alternative,
Unfortunately, I don't think we'll have a choice. As much as it fucking pains me.
very well. I will respond to him in kind then. I'm sorry to even ask that. I'm just. I would be remiss if I didn't ask.
I don't think anybody should have the right to choose who dies and who lives.
And yet we so often do. And if I'm not mistaken, someone in your position often does the choosing.
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
For what it's worth, Matteo, I would allow you in my lab any time, though I imagine once you are exiting this place, they may extricate you from the premises.
Likely.
If you do need to get in touch with me, let me give you this. And he would go into the table and get out a blank Whisperstone, and its pair, making small labels and sticking them on. And he would hand it to you and says,
I like to think he has a like modern day label gun.
Just a fucking label printer. It just goes like.
He actually does it with a needle-sized signet ring. He carves like the arcade sigils into it before handing you one that it says Adriprix in parenthesis EU.
He's European. Ew.
He's from
Hello.
Embassy University.
I got cut out.
Oh, sorry. He handed you a Whisperstone with the arcane writing in it from his signet ring that says Adriprix, Embassy University, or EU.
Mm-hmm. He's British.
That's what I said.
He hands it to you before getting its pair and scrawling in Matteo Malandri and putting it on the shelf next to the others.
Nice. Also,
It killed Midas.
Midas is
Midas
gone.
is dead.
Dear God, keep the necromancer away from him.
The dragon's dead.
Don't let him get to the body.
Matteo will take the stone and go, I will keep in touch. Congrats on being my first in at the university. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more in the future as far as this whole situation goes.
I have no issue with that. Simply show my field the respect I show your kin.
Humans? What?
I meant Silvertongues.
Oh. Ugh.
If I may,
I know not everyone cares for my craft, but
I think it may be good for you to pressure the university to take a stance of protection of the city and diplomacy, if you catch my drift.
I appreciate it. That may be difficult for us politically, but that has been my stance for some time.
There won't be anything political about it when the city's being overrun by undead. Actually, on that note, how difficult would it be to arrange a meeting with some of the more upper people at the university? I'd like to have a few words with them.
With all due respect, many of the upper members of the university are in that position due to their relationships.
Yeah, I
And
figured as much.
there is a correlation. I doubt that given recent events, they are in any hurry to sit down with. I risk some fallback, simply speaking, day. I just think it's worth it. Besides, I have tenure.
I suppose that's fair.
Necromancers are famously disliked. It was part of my contract.
Well, suppose that's that then.
Though, if I may give you some parting advice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you are aware this city has stood through a lot more than an undead invasion. there are measures in place to protect us. And if I'm honest, as a learned member of this city, I would be much less afraid of the undead and much more afraid of what happens when we respond to them.
And that's why when we do respond, it needs to be as one unit. Not as whatever the fuck we are now.
On the contrary, if we respond as a whole, you will have 3 devils working together instead of keeping each other in line. I would recommend you consider the harm that would be done if our grand leaders decided to cooperate. Food for thought, Matteo. Food for thought.
I've learned a lot of stuff I'd rather not know. But one helpful aspect is I know that if that does come to pass, this place has contingencies for such an event.
Yes. We could
There's
bulk
always
our military. We could bulk it by a multitude. But I don't know that I want our summoners unleashed.
All I'm saying is there's always a bigger fish.
I agree.
And unfortunately, we've had the displeasure of meeting with some of the biggest. I'm not afraid of them anymore.
Well, that makes one of us then. I do wish you the best, and if you do find anything, or if you need anything, please let me know. While I may not be able to get you access, I believe young Avarice there will be able to access. He can middleman.
Alright.
I do need to have you going, though, before too many people start talking.
Understood. Thank you for your help. Really.
Of course. Have a good day, Melange. He would open the thing back up and begin cutting back into the body.
Teo would leave.
Hey, sir, do you need all the body parts of the undead here?
May I ask why?
I create talismans. They help us in hunting what they're made out of. If I made some from the undead, it would help us if we encountered any.
I can get you something. Give me a moment. And he would go into the back, and he would come back with a slightly enlarged and discolored eyeball and hand it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
He would nod and go back to his work. All right. When you enter, Logrin is standing in the hole with the summoner and says, "So, you guys get through your book study?"
I'd say we did pretty well. Not anything you'd get, though.
I get plenty. Come on. It's time to go.
He would follow the biggest man.
They escort you from the premises. You would find some very rude symbols have been carved into the side of your carriage when you get out.
Oh, that was...
See what I tell you.
It's expected. No one likes us here. And frankly, I'm okay with that. I don't like him either.
He escorts you all the way to your carriage. Avarice hops up front and says, "Are we heading home, boss?"
Yeah.
All right. And he would
It's
order and
been an
start going.
eventful day.
You drive back through, and you do see an increase in patrols in Glacia's territory watching you the second time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I will also say you do see that there are several more summoners along the way on your way out. It seems like they mobilized a little bit on your entrance.
Interesting.
Once again, it seems more
Fascinating.
defensive. It seems more defensive than offensive, but they definitely mobilized.
Still fascinating.
You head
Alright.
back through friendly territory, and Avarice asks where you are headed to.
Were we going to the Colosseum?
I don't remember when it was.
There wasn't a specific day, but they did invite you to the next show. I would say that's probably tomorrow.
Alrighty. In that case... Okay. I've got nothing.
I'm just going to turn that eyeball into a talisman.
You do. Do you have any preferences for how it would like to be created, or are you going to let inspiration take you away?
Oh, inspiration can take me away.
Okay, perfect. I will get the specifics set up for you while you take some time to make it. The rest of you?
As if what we're doing for the rest of the day? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, Matteo will report the events of the trip to Joffrey.
If it
I
could
don't-
do
I don't
with
have
detecting
anything
undead, that'd be
Plan
cool. Sorry.
three. Oh, sorry.
That's my bad.
I don't have anything of consequence planned for myself.
I mean, I got nothing. I was
Side
thinking
go-
eyes blink.
You guys want to go watch an arena fight to see what we might be in for?
That might be... Well, actually,
That's
the
not
next
a-
showing
The next
is
one's
tomorrow.
Right, my bad. Maybe we could talk to gladiators?
We could
I don't
talk to them.
care. Either way, I'm just throwing out ideas.
That might be
Do you
smart.
think they'd let us?
Well, some of them are a lot of them are non-voluntary, but I feel like there's got to be at least a few that are like, athletes.
If you
Doing it
just
for-
want to talk to people who have fought, I'm sure you could find several Silvertongues that have been in the arena.
Let's do it.
Whether by choice or not.
All right. You head back. I will say, by the time you get back, it seems mostly calmed down. You would find along your way that a lot of the Silvertongues, I want to say the word escaped to the promenade to get away from it.
Mhm.
They're having a cookout on the promenade. Back at the inn, most of the rooms that would normally be rented out have been turned into hospital rooms, essentially.
Duh.
There is a significant amount of people who didn't make it. Not the majority, but a significant amount didn't make it. However, the majority of them made it with survivable or even minor wounds.
Okay.
In the long run, anyway. I mean, they're not feeling great right now, but...
Matteo is going to go up to the office to report to Joffrey. And I'm going to step away for a moment because I spilled a little bit of paint and I need to get it off my hands.
Okay, do what you need, and the rest of us can go through a bit. What are the rest of you doing while he's going up there?
Where's the money to be made?
The money to be made for you. You don't do prosthetics.
I could. I totally could.
I believe that's actually its own thing.
Fuck.
I believe that's a specialized skill. Like there's a feat for doing prosthetics.
Of course, there's.
Well, prosthetics are a big thing. That's not just like an arm. It's like, you gotta chrome up type stuff.
Yeah, true.
Oh, damn it! I was just about to say it.
I would say you can help out. I mean, like, there's definitely stuff to do. There's definitely hauling to do, if nothing else, with your. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what it is. They tell you that they did haul more barrels of whiskey. They were using it as antiseptic.
Got it. This is a bar.
Yeah. They went through their whiskey supply
Good God. Break
as
into the bar.
antiseptic and painkiller.
No, where do I need a haul? And what skill? Just strength?
Yeah, just give me a check.
Or would it be smarter to do a driver check?
Have your mech do a strength check.
Oh, man.
You're never gonna use that skill. Fuck you.
Just give me a carriage, please! Fucking who in the what now? Rolling. Blind. Public.
You can do public. Not
Okay.
that one. Okay. Sorry, give me just a second. I had to get something put together. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you make oh, hold on. This is a basic income. You're working for 1 day. You make a gold and 5 silver.
Oh, boy!
What a day.
Basic labor. It doesn't make you much. I mean,
Hooray.
all right. As for the rest of you,
Yes, I'll gamble. Think of anything
All
else?
I'm
right.
gonna be rusting off this drain.
how are you? How are you gambling? Are you going for really bluff heavy? Are you cheating? What are you doing?
No cheating.
All right, give me a bluff check.
Let's see. God, it's been so long since doing this. Let's see. Oh, did you do it for me?
No. Also, tell me before you roll. Actually, we'll roll blind, but tell me how much you want to gamble today. Give me a base amount.
Oh, gotcha. I'm not really feeling like gambling much. I got 6 gold. We'll just do 6 gold.
All right, give me a check, a bluff check.
All right, skill, bluff, blind.
Okay. I would say you do really well today. Actually, you walked in with 6, you walked out with 15.
Yay!
That's not bad at all.
So gain 9. Gain 9.
Gain 9.
He double and a half to.
He did really good today.
That's
All
only
right.
a dent into fixing what me and Milo did the other day.
All right. Moravaint.
I'm probably just gonna be resting off this, whatever it's called, the drain.
Fair. It's definitely going to take some time to heal up.
Yeah.
All right. Matteo, Milo. Oh, wait, Milo's building. Matteo, are you back?
Wait, what am I building? My talisman?
Yeah, you're making your talisman. Okay. I would say that the purpose of the talisman is not immediately apparent to you, but it seems to spin the eye within a locket that you can now wear.
Oh, fun.
Cool.
The eye
That
seems
sounds
to
cool.
move around with energy all its own.
Frightening.
Are y'all?
Welcome back, everybody. Now, I believe we were stopping right as Matteo went to go and speak with the boss.
Indeed.
You would find Joffrey sitting, rubbing his temples.
Oh.
Matteo, you are now in charge of speaking with the rats.
You've had a rough day, I imagine.
Not enough shit and too much chat.
Understood. I will expedite Maywyn's teaching me of the language.
They accepted the offer that I gave them. We will have some assistance.
Oh. So it went well then.
It did. I just have a headache.
Well, hopefully I've been around Maywyn enough, I'll be immune to it.
How did the university go?
Really well. I got an in. There's a resident necromancer up there who is very concerned about the whole undead thing.
Well,
I don't know how much you know about the whole inner workings of it, but don't work like normal undead.
I was familiar with that, yes.
Yeah. It's mildly concerning, and, well, obviously you know about the gaggle of them grouping up north of Ember Creek.
I am familiar of them, yes.
It's, deeply concerning.
Would you shut the door for me?
He does so.
I heard something earlier today. And, well, to be honest, I hadn't mentioned it because I was hoping I wouldn't need to.
Oh, fuck, what's going on?
Sir, he made a proposition at a official meeting with the Duchess. He offered to fix the undead problem. Wholesale. He just asked for more men. But they have to be his men. You're familiar with the portal that they used to get here?
Yeah.
He wants the keys.
It seems like a pretty steep price.
Matteo will say exactly that, actually.
The Duchess agreed. She rejected, saying that I was already on the project. Unfortunately, that now puts the pressure on us to deliver.
And that means there's no way Sir is looking to work together.
Presumably not, now that he gets an advantage from us failing. Which I assume has been part of his plan for some time.
Sounds to me like the only way to get him to cooperate on this is to show him just how dangerous this whole thing is. And I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna manage that.
Then the question is, do you believe that the undead could be the pit? I, for one, would bet on the pit.
It's definitely not out of the question, but...
And Sir doesn't care about the loss of life. Less people in the city means more of his people in the city.
And that's all he's ever wanted.
Up till now, he's been held back because the Duchess is smart enough to not give him the keys. That being said, she's known for her emotional choices. And if the question is allowing his men to flood here in large number, or watching her people be purged here in large number. Well, I know what choice I'd make if I were her.
Her people would be purged either way.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Please. You've dealt with Sir longer than I have.
Oh no, I agree with you. But if you were in her position, certain death for your people or possible death for your people, would you not go possible? It's a gamble either way.
To say what I'd actually rather do would put me on a watch list. But that's pretty extreme circumstances that I don't think we're quite in the position to consider yet.
Well, the good news is she bought us some time. But, yeah, it's not great odds from where I'm sitting.
I have a hunch.
Okay.
Based on some stuff the necromancer I met with was saying.
Shoot.
I think the magic that's bringing them back might be primal in origin. Possibly even druidic.
Primal. As in natural magics?
Yes, or at least a corrupted form of it. According to the necromancer, the undead don't leave any arcane traces, and they're not warded off by consecrated ground.
Implying neither arcane nor divine.
Exactly. So either it's primal, or it's something different, and, well, I've got a key to that too. But one of those is a lot easier.
Has he determined how it spreads, then?
Me, the player, has forgotten.
He had not been able to determine if there was any method of spreading, and that's why he was asking for a living test subject.
Got it, okay. Just making sure. There hasn't been a concrete answer to that yet. He hasn't had the test subjects for it yet. And currently his only option for that is Sir's suggestion of have someone in the arena fight it. And frankly, I'll take the results, but I don't want to be a part of that.
I see. In order for him to test it, what would he require?
Someone who's either willing or deserving of death.
We have quite a few of them.
I'm not exactly comfortable with choosing someone to die. I don't think any mortal should have the choice over someone's life. At least outside of a self-defense situation, I guess. But
Understood. Very
I'm
well.
sure I can get people in touch if you want to try and handle that. Or if anyone wants to try and handle it. I'm trying to save lives.
How would we get in touch with him?
I have a Whisper Stone. Might have to be a mediary, especially while the university is very solidly under Sir's control, but...
Do you have one in mind?
What?
Do you have a
didn't get
mediary in mind?
Oh, I was saying I would have to be the mediary, because I have the Whisper Stone, and the Whisper Stone is
Oh,
tied
okay.
to me.
You said that you had the Whisper Stone, then you said it might need a mediary in the meantime. Thus, the why did you have an... Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. If I was to deliver you a test subject, you'd be able to deliver it?
I'd be willing to do that, but the less info I know, the better.
Understood. Do me a favor and send Jeeves in on your way out.
Will do.
And Matteo.
Yeah.
I understand this is difficult for you. I do appreciate the...
You cut out, I'm sorry.
He says, I understand this is difficult for you, and I appreciate the loyalty.
I'm just tired of seeing people die. And he steps out and nods to Jeeves. You're wanted.
Jeeves would quickly nod and separate from the group, disappearing.
Fucking hate when he does that.
A few minutes later, he would walk out, and he would walk over to you and say, Matteo, where are you going to be?
Not quite sure yet. Still deciding that. According to Joffrey's exasperation, probably talking with rats at some point.
The research you're trying to deliver to, you are referring to Adiprix, the necromancer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll handle it. Do what you need to do.
You sure?
Come on, Matteo. I was always the one doing the dirty work. Do what you need to do. I'll handle it.
Alright. But be careful, man.
Always
Kind
am.
of shit takes a toll on someone.
He would nod and start walking out. You would see that as he has when he was escorting you, the blade is currently equipped to his tail.
Ugh. Alrighty.
He would
Mildly
leave alone,
concerning.
and for the first time in a while, you'd see him walking.
Ooh. He hasn't done that since we got the map.
In the meantime, all your boys are out at the barbecue. A lot of them are wasted.
Yeah, that checks.
They seem to be having a good time, honestly, given everything that's going on. They're more drinking in remembrance than anything. It's a very drunk affair, but
I mean, I would imagine so.
But it seems like most of them were only riled up more by recent events.
I can believe that.
I would say while you're there, you actually would see a couple of Jeeves's acolytes are nearby. You would notice most of them don't have the full blade like he does. Most of them have something more equivalent to a almost like a stiletto attached.
That's kind of cool.
A very, very light version of the knife. And you can see even then that sometimes it weighs their tail down. There's times where it's not moving fully, where it's almost hanging with the blade.
Mm. Strange. Alright. Well,
You all just partying for the night?
Matteo will take it easy, but yeah, he'll hang out with the boys and the group.
Hanging out with the boys, TM.
Sundays for the boys.
What do I hear? Imagine Dragons playing in the background.
All right. You all hang out, and hanging out for a while, you would eventually hear some shouting from the edge of the garden, and quite a few of the men would suddenly get up and move. Weapons are coming out before any of you can see what's going on.
Oh, well, Matteo's on the move.
Open fire!
Just immediately fires.
Immediate artillery shot.
Cannon!
I will say it's about sundown. It's getting close to that time. When you all move out,
action.
you would see about a half a dozen of Sir's men, led by Logren, standing on the edge of the clearing. And you'd quickly see what all the shouting was about. There are currently 2 Silvertongues being held up by the neck by Logrin.
We need howitzers.
He would stop
needs
on
a
the other
howitzer.
side of the clearing and he'd look in.
All right, Matteo
Oh, he's got an out.
is.
Hello?
Okay.
Oh no, the gloves.
Sir Malandri.
I think you're back now. I'm sorry, Matteo is what?
Oh,
He isn't
He's not
quite back.
Sir is DDoS.
I was immediately.
That's funny. We good? No. Okay.
We're not good.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I was gonna say we're so back. Little did we know, we're not back.
We were so back.
That was a several-minute delay.
I don't like the fact that his thing lights up, and the second it stops lighting up, his voice comes through.
Yeah. BRB?
We're gonna take a short
Yeah,
break.
let's give him a minute.
Hooray!
Yeah,
Cut to commercial.
perfect. All right. As you all walk into this scene, you do see several of the Silvertongues have weapons drawn and are simply hesitating to engage. The sun is still up, so any direct combat is technically illegal and everyone involved could be in trouble. So any kind of responses right now have to be tempered against that risk. Many of the Silvertongues seem eager to enter the fight, whereas on the other side, the 2 that are currently being held up are currently trying to cut at his arms with knives and failing. As they are doing this, you see Logrin standing, holding each of them out at arm's length so that they can't get to him. You would notice that Logrin is significantly larger than you're even used to, Matteo. You knew that he had some physical enhancements through magic, but he seems to be more akin to a minotaur at the moment.
Oh, he's been trucking those back. No, I'm not going to finish that joke.
His hair has actually grown into something akin to armor along his skin. He does have horns sprouting from his skull, and he is now about 15 to 20 feet tall, holding them. As
hair is
you
hefty.
enter the area, you see that he is currently flanked by 2 summoners, still currently covered in garb. As he's holding them up, he looks up and says, "Matteo, this is how you greet people who walk into your territory."
I didn't have shit to do with this. What the fuck's going on?
He chucks the 2 of them back, one-handed each, and sends them sprawling into the dirt.
I'll deal with you dumbasses later. Get the fuck out of here.
They go sprinting off. Several of the people seem to be staying at a distance as if trying to decide whether to interfere.
Someone keep those 2 from running off.
They interfere with the 2 trying to run. And Logrin kind of straightens and brushes off his arm. Once he starts messing with it, you do see some blood dripping from where they had been cutting into his arm.
Now, explain what happened. I'd like to handle this non-violently, if at all possible. You know how
I
I
told
roll.
you people I was coming in. They said no. I walked in anyway. They pulled weapons.
That sounds like a you problem, actually.
Well, I was coming to deliver you a message, so don't shoot the messenger. I think that's one of your mottos, isn't it?
Well, when the messenger is blatantly ignoring orders from people that are trying to, keep the peace and whatnot, it becomes a little hard to hold itself to that. But either way, what do you want?
You were formally... I'll call it invited. You've been told to come to a special showing at the Serena.
Uh-huh.
You and your entourage, of course. You're under protection for that. But, given recent events, our employer is less than eager to hear argument.
So he wants me there regardless of what I feel about it.
Does that shock you?
Not in the fucking slightest.
It shouldn't. Your men... Well. Considering they drew weapons on me first, and I am in public territory, I had every right to attack them. So given the fact that they're still walking, you can consider this a friendly invitation. I have a lot of respect for you, Matteo. Don't make me bring you in.
Logren.
He kind of glances at the other people still getting ready to either enter combat or leave, depending on your order.
Did Matteo say something? Because I didn't hear it.
He paused.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just making sure he didn't.
Look, Logren. I get that you're doing your job, and I can respect that. But this... Leave the theatrics to me, alright?
Nothing theatrical about mine.
Whatever you say.
You and your boys coming?
For the sake of keeping the peace, yeah.
Then let's get going. He would straighten, and you'd see him start shrinking down as if the spell is no longer necessary. You also notice that the other two seem to relax.
Oh,
I was totally prepared to launch into combat there. I had the scene ready. I was not sure where that was going.
I wasn't entirely against it either. I was ready.
oh my God.
Luckily, I have it ready for next time.
Mm-hmm.
You stand down, and several of the other guys do too. And one of them walks over and kind of leans into your shoulder. One of the guys who was the first to see you. You recognize him as one of the ones that yelled. He kind of leans in and goes, "Are you sure about this, Matteo? They're in our territory. We can take them."
Logren's not stupid. Besides, if he pulls some shit,
I'll let Jeeves know. He'll catch up with.
Yeah.
He starts walking off and kind of routes the other people to follow him.
am I cutting out?
No. I don't think so. Not now.
Oh. Are you sure? Because he just, like, completely over me.
Oh, I didn't hear you talk, so maybe you did cut out.
I was yeah, I didn't hear it either.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's fine. I figured that was the case. I also didn't... I don't know.
Oh, it's unsynced a little bit.
What did you say?
He's not talking now, right?
No.
Oh boy.
Something to the effect of, if Logren tries shit, I am confident that the people I travel with will be able to make very quick work of him.
You got it, boss.
I have standards a little bit.
Understood. I'll let Jeeves know, at least he can follow.
Yeah.
They head off.
When I'm
and,
missing all the action.
They begin heading off, leaving you with your party and Logrin and his 2 summoners. Logrin would.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear that?
Mhm. I heard plenty. And he would lock the clasp around the large axe on his back. So, we on our way?
Suppose we are.
He would lead you to a cart on the edge of the park and climb in the back, causing the cart to tip one way.
Climbing back, and we'll be off.
I will climb on the other side to cause the cart to tip the other way.
You compensate with your mech. I will say, he's probably one of the first humanoids.
That wording
actually
is
scale up.
hilarious.
He is one of the first humanoids to scale to your mech. He might be the first one who could arm wrestle your mech and win.
That's why I got a cannon, bitch.
He gets in and he goes, "I'm sorry, Matteo, I didn't intend to fight your men. But it was day and they did pull weapons."
Yeah, because you were trespassing.
Park is
They
public
were
zone.
following orders.
Now that I believe. But our people didn't attack you. walking around the
I'm
universe.
sure you That's fair. And for that I am appreciative. There's a slight delay, sorry.
You're okay. He would ride mostly in silence. I will say that as you are going along, you do notice that the cart does not have horses. There is no horse on this cart. It just moves.
It's
Car.
him. He's carrying it.
There is no horse in Bossing Say.
One of the summoners is sitting where you would control horses, and he does in fact hold reins, but there are no horses.
Car.
That's mildly terrifying.
After a few minutes, you would be on the road. You would ride for quite a while to get to where you're going at the Serena at the northern side. When you do arrive, you would find that while you'd heard grand things about this massive arena, there's no arena there. They bring you to it, and you find a small tunnel going underground. It seems relatively... it doesn't seem like a ton of people pass through it. It's not a very major thing. But once you go down into it, you would be released into a massive chamber that is extremely humid and smells slightly of sulfur. Once you are released into the full chamber and the lights are ignited and all the various braziers start going off, you would see that the entire room is a massive Roman-style Colosseum made of black stone, except instead of seating, you would see a bunch of connected hot springs. Elevated, tiered hot springs looking down on the arena.
And I left my bikini at home. Damn it.
When you entered, you would see a handful of people in the stands. It looks like this is a relatively small showing. On the opposite side, you do see that there is one that is relatively spruced up, if that's the right term. And from a distance, you could see the multicolored pajamas of one sir. Though it is quite a ways away. He, Logrin would lead you to a single spot across from him. And so you are the maximum distance from his boss. Once you get there, a couple of servants, appearing to be imps, would come by and deliver you each a set of robes.
I'm not putting those on.
You don't have to. They're just in case you want to get in the hot spring.
I will take one.
They would scamper off once they had delivered robes and towels to you.
I'm technically
I
already
will
wearing
warn you,
robes.
it's a sulfur spring. It's a sulfur spring, Midas. You'll smell like rotten eggs for like a week.
Ow. No more than the usual.
What?
I don't know. Just thought
The
I'd-
fuck? You know what? Never mind. I don't
Canonically
fucking care.
stinky.
Canonically stinky.
I hate everything.
I do too. But at this point, there's no point in resisting.
They would, Logrin and the summoners would sit outside of the spring, but nearby, and they would say, "Sir, wanted to give you an example of one of these fights, and give you some insight. Enjoy the show. Everyone
Why?
there is willing. Everyone there is willing." After a while, the arena would seem to move about, and you would notice that 2 slots in the flooring of the arena would pull away to allow people up into it. The dirt would seem to close up behind them as if it had never been disturbed, clearly through magic. Once they are in, though, you would see 2 summoners are the only people in the arena on opposite sides. After a few moments, they would remove the clothes, and you would hear a explosive go off, seeming to signal the beginning. And almost immediately, you would see why this arena is such a grand-scale event, as both of them would summon dragons into the arena.
Oh my.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
You would see a very long spectacle of these 2 large dragons, a blue and a red, combating in the arena, and neither one seems to be intelligent. You're not sure if these are simply imitations of dragons, or if these dragons have been magically... what's the word? I don't want to say dehumanized. Lobotomized?
I was thinking lobotomized.
But there is
That's
none of the normal conversing. They seem to be beasts, not intelligent creatures. However,
Which I
you would
presume
watch
is wrong.
It's not normal. You would watch quite
Lovely.
a long combat between the 2. Though you would see it would end, not when a dragon kills a dragon, but when one of the dragons manages to get to the opposing caster. In a very quick finish, one of them would manage to get in and impale the caster on the opposite side. Almost immediately, the magic would fizzle, and both of the dragons would be dispelled, although one caster would be very clearly dead on the floor. After a few minutes, Logrin would stand up, and he'd say, "If it's okay with you, I'm going to."
What did you say?
If it's okay with you, I'm going to leave.
Take me with you.
He would start getting up, and after a moment you would hear a amplified voice from across the arena, and Sir would speak in his normal soft voice, but amplified about, 100 times to reach you.
Mhm.
And Sir would say, Malandri, I brought you up here for a reason. Your recent advances on our territory have made things difficult. I brought you up here for 2 reasons. The first is to show you why fighting us is unwise, as we are willing to sacrifice a caster of that caliber for entertainment purposes. And the second is to invite you to another show and tell. After a moment, you would see a cage appear in the arena, and inside the cage, you would recognize several of the men who had been captured, all the way in the center of the arena.
Milo cracks his neck.
Sir would say, these men were captured and brought and given a deal. They will be the combatants at next week's fight, and they are offered the same deal as anyone else who fights in the arena. However, their fight will be a group fight, and anyone who dies in the arena isn't leaving it. I wanted you to understand what happens when your men interject themselves into my territory. Sleep well, Matteo. And he would start getting up.
Matteo will call out as he leaves. You hear me from all the way over there, kiddo?
Sir would pause and turn, not seeming to say anything, but clearly able to hear you.
There's gonna come a day, kiddo, where things ain't gonna go your way.
He would yawn and continue walking. Logren would continue to stand lacking an emotional response and begin guiding you out. When you do reach the surface, you would find Jeeves is currently waiting at a cart.
Matteo will wait for everyone else to get in the cart before he looks back at Logren and says, so I presume you knew that was going to happen?
I knew your men were captured. I knew we wanted to prove a point. I was not told what the event would entail.
Logren, there's going to come a day, maybe sooner than I even realize, where people who have done bad things are going to get what's coming to them.
Maybe.
I hope when that day comes, you'll be on the right side. Because if things go the way I'd like them to go, you're looking at the man who's going to watch your boss burn. And he's going to get in the cart.
As you get in, Logren would come over to shut the cart door behind you. And as he does, he would pause for a moment and say, Matteo, you always had ambitions. But I think before that day comes, we'll be drinking at the funeral. And he would shut it. After a moment, Jeeves would begin driving, and he would lean back as he does and say, so, anyone get hurt?
He's going to make our boys fight in the arena.
They're held at the arena?
Yep.
Oh, Matteo, you just made my day.
Jeeves, I want to kill Sir.
How about we start with humiliating him?
Was there like a
okay
weird,
with
scary echo right there?
I mean,
Like, or was that just
I
me?
didn't get the echo, but I kind of wish I did.
Dude, it was scary.
I wanted to open fire so bad.
You'll get your chance.
It took a lot out of me not to.
The arena fight with them, that's the next scheduled fight, the next big one?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That gives us some prep time. I have something in mind.
I want in.
How well do you remember that arena?
I've always had a good memory. I've had a passing interest in architecture.
Think you could find them inside?
With a little bit of luck, yeah.
They have stuff in there to stop me from moving around without being spotted. But if you can get something for me, I have an idea. He would take you back to the house And when he goes inside, he would come back out with a set of 8 small steel talismans with scrawled in infernal runes. You see, many of them are they're all seemingly linked, like they all have similar runic symbols. But you notice that they have specific markings indicating directional locations, like front, back type things. And he shows them to you and he says, listen, I need to get these on whatever they're using to move our men. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. He gets them for you, starts showing them. When you describe the cage they were being set in, he starts describing to you which of these and how to read them, and describes that these need to be placed on each of the 8 corners of this cage.
All right.
He hands them to you and says, listen, the next big major fight, the next one they're advertising, isn't till next week. So you have a week. Do whatever you need to do. But these need to be on that cage before it goes into the arena.
Understood.
And I already spoke with your necromancer friend. He has what he needs.
Good. I have some ideas next time we're all meeting with Joffrey.
Ideas for what?
For showing the people of this city what danger they're really in. And currently, Sir's on my shit list. So I may be able to rope embarrassing him, or at least making his incompetence known, a part of it.
From what I heard, that fight's not going to be a fair one. If you can't get that onto our men, then...
Oh no, this takes priority, but...
Understood.
Future plans.
You know a lot of people are going to die, right?
It's because of people like Sir that's unavoidable. Why do you think I want him dead?
Alright. Well, in the meantime, let's make sure it's not ours, then. I plan on doing another attack soon, a bit more targeted this time. I'll keep him distracted. Let me know when you want to make your move.
Will do. Good luck.
You know me. He would head off once you've reached the house, clearly getting his own stuff prepped.
Alrighty.
When you reach the house, most of the people are back to drinking, though they're back at the inn doing it now. When you do get back, you get a couple of cheers, and the guy who kind of routed them for you, one of the, we'll call him captains, one of the people under you, would come over and say, so, you get everything handled?
Should, yeah. Things got a little complicated, but we got a plan.
For what it's worth, we've already disciplined the ones who stepped out of line. They're okay.
Alright, good.
We dealt with them before they got back to the boss. You know how he handles insubordinate.
Yeah. I didn't want to be, letting no executions happen on my watch.
They defended our territory. They were simply overzealous in doing so. If anything, they were too loyal.
Yeah.
That gives them protection. And a lesson to be learned, but... Come on, we both know you've been overzealous in the past.
Yeah. But I'm lucky. They're not.
Maybe. I still think we should have taken him down, but your boss.
His time will come. And when that happens, we'll see what side he's on then.
Fine. Well, we're all drinking. Jeeves went on a recruitment run earlier, so we have to have the fun while we can. After a bit, Joffrey would come out of the room for the first time you'd seen in a while and join in the drinking, seeming to try to have a good time with everyone, but you can tell even he's a little shaken by recent events.
Matteo will try and hang out with him a little bit.
You would notice that the image you had of him a long time ago seems to have changed a little bit. He's a lot less, what's the word? Boisterous. He's still loud and forward and sense of humor and all of that, but he's definitely a little more somber at the moment than you remember back in the day. Even after a bloody battle back in the day, he was pretty chipper.
Interesting.
As if the age or pressure was starting to get to him.
Mildly concerning, but conversations for less public events.
Are the rest of you partying?
More just relaxing, not really partying.
That's kind of where I would be at, just in case some shit hits the fan.
Yeah, things are too tense to be partying.
All right.
Train and get ready.
Have
My
like
cannon
a
finger is itching.
You all relax and get ready for the upcoming events. And we are going to stop there for now.
Might I have one more thing?
Yes.
And feel free to leave the result of this for next time, because haha, funny drama. But at the end of the night, when everyone has turned in for the night, Matteo will be kind of lying awake, staring at his cane. The head, the top of it popped open. He's kind of looking directly at the shard. He is going to grab the Whisper Stone. Say, "Hey, Doc. Are you awake?"
After a moment, it would vibrate. You would hear a response from the other side. And say, yeah, Malandri, I'm in the lab. What's going on?
I got a quick question.
Not familiar of a quick one, but you're welcome to ask a question.
Where might I go to learn more about Chaos Shards?
Oh, well. Fickle bit of business, that. Any particular variety?
Can't say I know the particular type, but last time I had a communion with it, it was like music to my ears.
So a true Chaos Shard.
I think so.
Well, our research doesn't really allow us to go into that. You know, devils and chaos don't typically align. We might have some things in the library, but they'd be restricted.
Got it.
And
Thank you.
yeah. Thank your compatriot for earlier. He may have saved a lot of lives.
Will do. Sorry to bother you so late. It just
Oh, I'm performing an autopsy. I'll be up all night.
well, you have fun with that.
Always do.
You'll put down the whisper stone. Whisper
You
shard.
put down the Whisper Stone. Are you continuing to focus on your shard?
Yes.
Okay. Do me a favor and roll a D100 blind.
Oh, blind.
We are going to go over a couple of closing things. We weren't shutting down the session. I was just stopping the main plot for a minute. But it's fine. This is actually a great segue. You don't seem to get any responses from the shard this evening. But you do see it swirling as you look in. Clearly something is moving. To focus on the others for a little bit. Let's see here for a moment. Trying to think of everything I need to go over for right now. Mawym. That evening, as you are getting close to being done, you would be approached by a rat. One of the hayloft variety.
Play the Germa sound.
He would.
I don't have it on a keybind.
God damn it. Thank you.
He would walk in and say, Mawym, rat friend.
Which rat is it? Any? Is it
It-
Little Rat?
It is Little Rat. It is Little Rat.
Yay! Little
Mawym,
Rat.
rat friend. Yeah, Little Rat.
What one?
We working.
What work?
Not much. Bartend and carry bottle, and we started mapping.
What map?
Map sewers.
Mmm.
Good map. Good work. A lot of pay
Clean
for
map?
good work.
How much are they getting paid?
Whole colony get food, get place to sleep, get protection. We never had protection before.
What payment? Map done?
Map close.
Hmm.
Notch ear, no like map.
Yeah.
We get done. A few rat get hurt, no big deal.
Hawk. Not here?
Notch ear, no much chit chat.
All rat chit chat.
All rat chit chat. Notch ear chit chat less. Notch ear stab
Okay.
slash.
We see.
Notch ear no stab slash big friend.
Mm-mm.
Notch ear slash stab rat.
Mm-hmm.
Good pay, though, good pay.
Not your stab slash metal? I say gesturing to the mech.
No. Notch ear knife small. Notch ear knife little. Littler than little rat.
Sewer fit metal?
Sewer tight fit metal.
That do.
Metal not fast. Rat fast.
No need fast.
Notch ear's fast.
But rat in metal.
Metal slow. Map go good though. Ooh, and he kind of looks around and leans in and goes, Little rat, got job in alchemist shop.
Good job.
Yeah.
Wait,
Hello,
actually, looking at it, my mech is faster than I am. Rat
Not
poker's
maneuverable
slow.
in tight quarters.
That's
Not
fair.
maneuverable.
But
Yeah,
rat poker slow.
it's less speed and more maneuverability in tight corridors.
We have little legs.
We thank you and Big Friend. Big Friend, take good care.
Rats stick together.
Rat try.
Can get map.
We'll make copy.
Good.
Gonna deliver copies all Big Friends. All Silvertongue friend.
Get early copy.
Sewer map.
Extra copy for Big Friends.
No, early.
Oh, early. It's not
Come.
finished. We get paid. We get paid when finished.
Ah, I know
Have to
tell.
live-
This for rat, not for big friend.
Yeah, but Big Friend pay us.
Is that only copy?
No.
May I scribble down unfinished?
Yeah. You have a copy of He goes and gets them and he lays out a couple of pieces of paper. It looks like rats were taking notes of different parts. He starts laying them out and getting a big piece of paper and kind of like what's the word? Like carbon copying it basically.
Uh-huh. He's like a fucking printer. He's just moving side to side.
He's placing the first sheet of paper, the empty sheet, on top of the colored sheets in like their pattern and like scrolling through it. And then hands it to you and goes, Here, copy. Unfinished, but copy.
Thank little rat.
He gives you a hug and runs off.
Aww.
If anything happens to the little rat, I'm burning this whole place to the ground.
Oh, I'll kill him. I'll
I will
fucking kill
show
him
these
all.
devils what hell really looks like.
They want hell in the surface. They can have. I'm going down to the notchers.
As a
Later.
second detail, Midas, you have a dream this night.
Uh-oh.
As you drift off to sleep, you would feel yourself flying through the air over what appears to be the old woods.
Old woods.
In the past, it's always been history, and you've always felt like you were something else, but this time, it seems that it is in the present, and you know who you are.
Who am
as
I?
you are looking, you're you.
Okay.
Or at
well,
least you're you in this dream. Like, you're definitely moving around in ways that you can't, but you're you.
but
You're
should
Midas.
I know who I am? Oh, okay, I am Midas. Okay, I was about to say, is this a trick again? What the fuck?
No, you're Midas.
You're you.
It would slowly drift down your perspective until you're close to the ground, and you would find yourself in the clearing that you had found the Druid circle. You appear to be coming in at the end of a ritual. You would see that several people are here, some that you recognize and some that you don't. Quake, as well as the hooded older druid that you recently met, are standing at the forefront. And surrounding the circle are Aros, the new herald, and also a few that you haven't really met. You do see Chroma, who you all met very briefly, the dragon rider with his dragon in tow. You do see a Ifrit, a fire elemental, standing on one side, and the fire elemental is currently sporting a charred oak staff. with a obsidian tip, as if to make a spear. The sorry, one second. Oh, I'm sorry. And there is one other here that you do not recognize at all, a dragonborn with chromatic scales. Full size, big size, like orc size. Who seems to be the happiest out of the lot. He's the only one with like a actual genuine smile. In the center of the circle is Bramble, who seems to be exhausted. He is sweating and sprawled out on the ground. But you do see that wrapped around his arms are slightly moving coils of vines. The rest of them seem to collapse, as if whatever they had been doing had taken a significant amount of their energy. But as you do this, you do see that the entire forest around them begins to move and seeming to revive itself. Many dead branches and hanging vines would seem to move and begin to grow a more vibrant green. The fog would be thick, but you would see more light coming through it. And you would begin to see small amounts of natural creatures moving around. You would even see some will-o-wisps through the trees. And as you see all of this, Bramble would slowly sit up, examining his own arms, and you would see that while he did used to be very half-elven, you could tell his human traits, he seems to have taken on a much more elven look. Any trace of the human part of his heritage seems to have been erased by whatever has occurred. After a moment, he would sit up and he would seem to stretch. You would hear many cracks as things seem to move back into their proper places. And he would say, "So, catch me up." And then the vision would cut out.
Hmm.
Congratulations, your dream sequence is over. Does anyone else have anything they would like to address before we shut down for the evening?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, in that case, we're going to call it for tonight. And next week, we will have some more fun with Matteo's new assignment.
Yay!
Next week, quotation marks.
We'll be.
Assuming everything goes to plan.
Could be.
It won't.
Get out!